It all began in Chicago, Illinois in 1953. 8-year-old Jeffrey Harding was taunted by schoolmates about a brother he never knew. That same day, his mother showed him some scrapbooks stored in the attic. She explained that he did indeed have a brother. Jeffrey was unaware that his long-lost brother had been kidnapped before he was born. I just didn't know what to do. I felt so empty inside, and I felt so sad for my parents. I could just look in my mother's eyes and see the pain, and I also wanted to know what it was like to have a brother. And I always felt cheated that I couldn't communicate with him, I couldn't play with him, couldn't wrestle with him, couldn't go to a ball game with him. I couldn't do anything like everybody else did with their own brother and sister. Jeffrey's mother brought out a baby book and read him clippings she had saved about the events of June 30th, 1944. That morning, she put 10-week-old Laurence Jr. in his carriage and made her customary trip to the corner market. There were 2 teenage girls in the store. According to Jeffrey, his mother didn't recognize the girls from the neighborhood, but felt that their attention was innocent. As my mother was coming home from the market, the 2 girls were following her, but she just thought that the 2 girls were walking down the street as she was going home. And when she pulled into the yard with the baby carriage, she saw a neighbor who lived upstairs. The lady who was supposed to be watching my brother didn't keep an eye on him long enough. She watched him for a little while, and then she kind of turned away. By the time my mother, who was running as fast as she could, got to the alley, the girls were gone. After 3 agonizing days, Jeffrey's family received a phone call. The girl on the other end of the line identified herself as one of the people that took the baby, and the girl said, "We're going to bring the baby to you." And my mother said, "When?" And as she was waiting for an answer, the girl hung up on her. She was never asked for ransom, and that was the last contact my mother had with the kidnappers. The FBI and the Chicago police searched for Laurence Jr. to no avail. Finally, after 4 weeks, the investigation was called off. 10-week-old Laurence Harding Jr. had vanished into thin air. Jeffrey Harding would never meet his older brother. Thanks to the Freedom of Information Act, Jeffrey was able to secure the original FBI records pertaining to the case of his brother's disappearance. In these files, Jeffrey found a startling new lead, and he hired private investigator Paul Rigsby. Together, they learned that in 1944, the FBI had interviewed 2 railroad porters. According to Rigsby, the porters told a curious tale of a young woman at a Chicago train station just 4 days after Lawrence's disappearance. The FBI file from Washington that we were able to get a copy of indicated one of the teenage girls showed up at the train station with a baby meeting the description of Laurence. According to Rigsby, the teenage girl then asked a random woman to hold her baby for a moment. More than likely, the woman was on the bottom platform with the baby. The train's fixing to pull off, and she's not sure if the teenage girl is on the train or not on the train, and realized that it was her time to get on the train, and was believing the teenage girl when she told her not to worry. And more than likely, she got on the train waiting for the teenage girl to find her. However, after the train took off, it became obvious that the teenage girl didn't make the train. When the older woman with the baby arrived at Union Station in St. Louis, she approached 2 porters, George Hill and a Charlie McCall, and explained to them how she came by the baby. She also told him that she was going to Magnolia, Arkansas, but told him that if Mother decided she wanted the child, she'd be in Magnolia and she could find her there. Armed with the promising information, Rigsby immediately went to Magnolia. He conducted interviews and combed through the town's records, but unfortunately turned up no trace of the woman or her family. The woman at the train station probably thought that the girl didn't want this child. I believe that this woman was a good Samaritan. She took care of the child. She did everything she could to let the porters know where she was going, and in no way, shape, or form did she have anything to do with the abduction. Jeffrey Harding will not give up his search until he finds out what happened to his brother. Jeffrey is certain his brother is alive and probably unaware of his unusual past. If there's anything that I dream about as being the happy ending, it would be finding my brother. finding out that he was raised in a loving environment, finding out that he would be willing to accept me and accept my family, and that we could spend our lives together as friends.